Can you climb the corporate ladder without sacrificing precious family time? Is it really even possible? Today, I'm going to unlock some secrets for you that will help you not only climb that corporate ladder, but prioritize your family at the same time. Welcome to my channel. I'm Myles Threatt, and I'm here to help all you driven, ambitious leaders who want to build a lasting legacy in all aspects of life. Today, I'm going to hit on a very important topic. How can you be successful climbing that corporate ladder, launching your nonprofit dream, or kickstarting your entrepreneurial journey without sacrificing precious time with your family? If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I know you want to make a name for yourself. You want to get that corner office. You want to climb that corporate ladder, and you want to build that lasting legacy. You're thinking about that entrepreneurial dream that you have, and you're ready to launch out on it, and you want to be a great success, and you want to make lots of money along the way. And as you do that, you take on all the challenges. You take on all the work. You take on those extra projects. And the next thing you know, you're spending 10, 11, 12 hours a day working hard, working on those projects, trying to build a name for yourself, trying to build a brand for yourself, trying to get noticed. And you got a wife and kids, or you got a spouse and children at home waiting for you, thinking about you. They got sports, they got events, they got things going on in their life, and you're working away, and you got project deadlines, you got new products that you're about to launch, and you're working hard to make your dream come true. And at the same time, you want to be with your family. You want to build those moments. You want to create those memories, whether sitting on the sideline enjoying watching them playing their favorite sport, or taking them to learn that instrument that they're dying to become excellent at, and you want to go hear them play it. You want to go participate in those things. You want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to focus on it. You want to be able to revel in it, in their successes, just like you want to revel in your own successes in your work. Then how are you going to make that happen? How can you climb that ladder, get to where you want to go in your career? How can you build your entrepreneurial dream for yourself without sacrificing your family and without sacrificing your dream? Can you have both? Is it even possible? Well, today we're going to dive into how you can have both. How can you make it possible? Will there be times that one will take a priority of the other? Yes. Will there be certain things that you will have to sacrifice along the way? Maybe. And can you make it happen for yourself and create a balance between work and life? Is there even such a thing as work-life balance? A study by the Corporate Executive Board found that employees who believe they have a good work-life balance work 21% harder than those who don't. And the majority of organizations today are struggling with retention. If you got a 30% retention rate, you're doing really good today as an organization. Research by the Mental Health Foundation reported that over 40% of employees are neglecting other aspects of their life because of work. And this increases their vulnerability for mental health problems. So if you don't believe in work-life balance, it's for real. We need it. We all need it. Yes, can we color outside the lines for a little while? Yes, we can. Are we resilient? Can we bounce back? Yes, we can. But do we need to find some balance in our life so that we can be successful not only in our work but in our families? It is estimated that good work-life balance policies and standards can save up to $19 billion per year just through increased productivity and reduced turnover. So if you want to climb that corporate ladder and you want to build that lasting legacy in that organization, and they don't allow you to have work-life balance, then you're working at the wrong place. And if they're not open to it, then you need to go find another place to go work. And if you're trying to launch your own entrepreneurial dream, the statistics are the same for you, because you're going to be hiring people to work for you. And if you don't allow that for them and build it in your own life, you are going to be losing that money as well. So as you launch your entrepreneurial dream, what does that work-life balance look like for you? What does it look like for those people that you're about to hire? How can you make that happen for yourself and those that join your team? Before you define that work-life balance, I have 4 principles that will help you in your career or as you launch your entrepreneurial dream. The first is prioritization, and that means you got to determine what can you eliminate and what can you automate. Yes, there are things that you have to do, and do those things that you have to do, but what is it in your work that you can eliminate and what can you automate? I'd highly recommend you get Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, to learn how he recommends doing this. But when it comes to eliminating, Tim Ferriss suggests that we should be like a detective and figure out which tasks are really necessary. A good thing for you to do is start looking at all those meetings. Which ones are you required to do? In my corporate job recently, I had 2 standing meetings every day I got to go to. They're scheduled for 15 minutes, and then sometimes they go over because people can't stay focused on just getting information and moving on. We had an open discussion about how beneficial it was. And honestly, one of those meetings was not very beneficial to me at all. And I just told the leaders that there's no benefit for me coming to this meeting. I'm sharing the same information. I've already planned with the individual that I'm working with what my team is going to do and how we're going to support them. And really, it's a waste of my time. So I was able to eliminate it. I eliminated another meeting the same way. This one was taking an hour of my day. The majority of the time, the information I got from it, they could have sent me an email or said, hey, we need your help on this project and here's what we need you to do. And then I could go from there and do it. And so I eliminated that one. So go through your schedule, look at what you're doing. Is it really beneficial for you to be there? Remove yourself if not. Another thing that I do, I don't know what software you use to schedule your meetings, whether it's in Teams or something else, 30-minute blocks. Well, can you get it done in 20? Can you get it done in 7 minutes? Yeah, cut out that wasted time. Do you really need to be spending your time that way? And go through your whole schedule. And then if you can't be the one to make the decision to leave and you got to ask somebody, then show them how this is not beneficial to you and see about getting out of it. Or hell, just find other things to do and just don't show up. Yeah, you got another deadline. You can't make it. The other suggestion that Tim Ferriss has for you is to automate. What can you automate for yourself? Now, it's like setting up a robot to do the task for you. Can you automate some of your email responses? Can you automate things you pay? Sometimes that might mean you even go purchase things that you pay for out of your pocket to do this, even if your organization isn't willing to pay the money for them. Man, there are so many automation tools out there, especially if you're trying to build a social media following and you're trying to get people to respond to you in their DMs, or you're trying to make connections on LinkedIn and other things like that. I have tons of resources that I use that I automate to make that happen for myself. I try to automate as much of my social media content as I can. Yeah, I have to sit here and make these videos, but I'm not doing the editing. I'm paying somebody else to do it. I'm scheduling it to be uploaded. I'm scheduling when my social media is being sent out, and I create that for myself. Are there other automated tools that I'm using for myself at work that I pay for out of my own pocket sometimes? Yes, I do. Why do I do that? To save me time so I can work on more important, bigger things instead of wasting my time on dumb shit that I don't need to be doing. Yeah, believe me, you work in the corporate world, you're going to be doing a lot of dumb shit. So my challenge to you this week, as you go through your schedule, look at your work and look at what you're doing and determine for yourself, what is it that you're doing right now that you can eliminate from your work? How can you get out of it? And I like one thing that Bill Gates said, think like a lazy person, because a lazy person will figure out a way to make it easier, to do it easier. They'll find out a way to get out of it if it's a waste of their time. So think about it that way for yourself. What is it that you can eliminate? What is it that you can automate for yourself within your work? And build that into your work as well. And that will give you more time for yourself. Principle number 2 is set some boundaries. Set boundaries for your time. What is it in your schedule that you can delegate to others? Delegate as much of it as possible. That's right. You really go in on that high level stuff. Doesn't matter if you're trying to climb the corporate ladder or if you're trying to launch your entrepreneurial journey, you need to be working on the high level stuff. And then you need to delegate everything else. And if you can't delegate it to somebody on your team, or you don't have somebody to delegate it to, then find a way to outsource it. Yeah, you got a big project due at work. If there's a way you can outsource it through somebody you connect with in Upwork or Fiverr, and you get the same results, I'm talking a non-essential project. I'm not talking about that big thing. I'm not talking about giving away information. I'm talking about working smart. You're damn right, working smart and outsourcing it to someone else. A good resource for you here is Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time. Look over your work, things that you're required to do. What is it that you don't really need to do yourself? Those are the things that you delegate. You ask someone else to do it for you. You assign it to them. You have a staff, a team you're leading. Well, then that non-essential work, you need to delegate it to someone else. You want to develop your team, grow them, then give them the opportunity to improve themselves. by delegating some of those tasks that you don't need to be doing. They're not value added. They're not going to get you to your end goal. If you've done them before, you know how to do it, then teach somebody else and let them do it for you. See, by sharing your work, you get it done sooner and more efficiently. So you want to strategically climb that corporate ladder, or you want to strategically make a huge impact with your entrepreneurial dream, then what is it that you can delegate to someone else? Next, you got to outsource. Outsourcing is like delegating, only it's just a little different. Normally you're paying someone else to do it for you. And I've done this before. I was trying to learn how to use Power BI. And I went in and I learned how to use it a little bit. And I wanted to track all this training that we were doing and produce a report and show what we've accomplished and show the percentages. I had this massive Excel file. Now, I'll just be very honest. I hate that shit. If I could find someone else know how to do some of it, yes, I do. I can do it. Do I like doing it? No, I do not. I can do what I need to do and get by. And if I can pay somebody else to do it for me, I am. And I did. And I was able to provide my leadership at the time the information that they needed and help them see how we were accomplishing the training and who was trained and who wasn't trained. And it was beautiful and it was nice and it was amazing. I was so excited because I didn't spend any of my time doing that because I paid someone else to do it because I outsourced it to them and it was worth my time. Here's another one, a very practical one. I've been that guy, that dad who mows his lawn for so many years. Well, a few years ago when I moved into the house I'm living in now, they had a bigger yard and I had a choice to go buy a big riding mower and do it myself. And I had all the other equipment, but I didn't have that big riding mower. And I moved to this house about 3 years ago. And I decided I wasn't going to invest my money in a damn riding lawnmower. And I was going to stop doing that. I outsourced that activity and took it completely out of my life. And if you're a father out there, a husband out there, you got a family and you're working hard and you got the money to spend on an expensive lawnmower, instead of wasting your time mowing your own grass, pay somebody else to do it. Buy back your time. What else in your life that you can buy back? When I was working internationally, living overseas in Thailand, doing my nonprofit work, man, I was able to outsource so many things in my life. Well, it was a lot cheaper for one thing. And if I made the money like I'd want to make here in America, I would outsource even more. I would never clean my house again if I could get away with it. If I could afford to pay somebody to do it, I would. What is it in your life that you want to remove? Yeah, I was that guy that liked to change his own oil in his own vehicles all those years. I did that. But man, I gave that up a long time ago. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you love doing that, then go right ahead. Help yourself. But if you want to build that lasting legacy, climb that corporate ladder, launch your nonprofit, kickstart your entrepreneurial dream, and have time for your family, then what is it? Daily life stuff that you could outsource as well. We've covered prioritization and setting boundaries. Now, principle number 3 is value-added time. I know you've probably heard it before. Quality time over quantity time. I can tell you from personal experience, some of the best times with my family had a lot of quantity time in it. I didn't measure the damn quality of it. Whoever thought of that shit? I don't know. But sometimes you just gotta have time. And you just got to make time. But there are some things we need to focus on while we have that time together. Are you as a family making it a priority to actually sit down and have a meal time together and consistently doing it? I know if you've got multiple kids playing multiple sports and both of you going in 2 different directions, I know that can be hard. I've been there, been through that. But you also need to have some protective evenings at home where you have that quantity time together, where this device right here is unplugged and removed so you can have that quantity time together. You take out those distractions. You take those extended weekends. You take those trips. You go to locations that remove you from all the distractions and friends and other things that take away from you having that quantity time together as a family. I remember in my work in Thailand when I was doing my nonprofit work, we had a location that we could go to that was like that. And it was a houseboat on a lake. It had electricity part of the evening run off of a generator. No cell phone signal in the area. It was all about getting away, going unplugged, and being together. Did sometimes we invite other families to join us and their kids come along as well? Yes. And then there were times it was just us, and we got that quality time together. Maybe it's you doing some of your favorite outdoor activities, just you and your family, going on a hike, getting away from the hustle and the bustle, getting out in nature and spending that quality time together. It could be you have evenings that you just go completely unplugged. No cell phones, no TV, no nothing. Just dinner, time together, doing an activity outside or playing a game together inside where you're communicating, talking, spending time together, build memories. And you do those things that build memories. One of the greatest things that I did for myself after my divorce was, instead of spending tons of money on a variety of different Christmas presents, I gave my kids a choice. You want to do a trip or do you want gifts? And they opted for the trips. And that became the thing that we did. And that built the memories. That provided quality time because it was just us. And it's what we did together. And it created memories for us. And it's those things that, as you're working so hard and striving to make that dream come true, you take that break, you unplug, you spend time with your family, you do those things to create those memories and build that legacy that you want to build that includes them and they're part of that journey with you. The fourth and final principle is just communication. Create an environment in your family, in your home, where you have open communication. You and your partner not only need to have times that y'all sit down and plan the family schedule and plan life and make sure your calendars are aligned and all that good stuff. But you also just need to sit down and have good open communication where both of you are unplugged and you're talking face to face and you're sharing your dreams, aspirations, your struggles, things that are working well, things that are not, what's going on in your lives and the lives of the kids. And you're creating that for yourself, but you also got to have that time as a whole family. Earlier I talked about if you're a busy family and you're building that dream and you got kids playing sports and you're in different locations, if you have that family time over a meal, that gives you a time to have those conversations. Those meal times become that open communication time. Yes, there also needs to be a scheduled family meeting time where you can sit down and talk and share about things that are going on. You can sit there and look at the schedule. Whose game is where and where do you got to be? And then what's your work schedule like and what's going to allow you to be at the different events and which ones are you going to miss and which ones matter the most to your children. Maybe they need to have an input on the ones that they would love for you to be at and the ones that doesn't matter as much as if you don't show up at. Get them involved in the process with you. You create that open environment where they can honestly share how they feel about things as well. And then you build that legacy because they were involved in it. You heard them out. You listened to them. You included them in it. But it starts with you as parents doing it first. Creating that plan, building that schedule, discussing it, being open about it, even being open about what you're trying to accomplish in your careers. And that's for both of you. And how can you support each other? Or how can you support each other making this entrepreneurial dream come true? And then what's the role of the family in it? Because all of that communication comes together and then you're in a true partnership and you're making it work for you. And that becomes part of your legacy because your children see it. They saw mom and dad do it. And mom and dad included them in it. And guess what? They take that model and they carry that model with them because you demonstrated, you lived it out. You want to build that lasting legacy, you include them in the journey and they see you do it. That communication not only happens at the family level, but it also needs to happen at the corporate level. What are some of your dreams and aspirations? Those leaders above you, do they know them? Are you being open and transparent with them about where you want to take your career? And what opportunities are they available for you there? How long on average does it take for someone to advance? What are they specifically looking for? What are the requirements? Are you having those conversations? Are you sharing with them what some of your dreams and aspirations are and the things you're doing to try to make that happen for yourself? Now that I've covered the four main principles, I want to provide you with some practical tips and tools that will help you make this possible. The first tip I want to recommend to you is that you need to build a morning routine that really works for you. And I'm not talking about this elaborate 1 or 2 hour routine that drains the hell out of you and you never get anything done. There's a lot of stuff out there about morning routines, morning rituals, and some of it is really good and some of it, by the time you're done with it, you're exhausted and you're not got a thing done for the day. A couple things I want you to make a priority for yourself. That's your sleep and your exercise. Build that into your schedule. If that exercise happens first thing in the morning, then that's the first thing you wake up and do. If it happens later in the day, you build that into your life. Make sure you're getting adequate sleep, 7 to 8 hours. Yes. If you're one of those people that can function on less, great. Proud of you. Wish I could. But for me, it's 7 to 8. And on average for most normal human beings, it is. If you can get by with less, you do that. But after you figure that out in your schedule, spend the first 5 to 10 minutes every day planning your day out. Set specific work times. Specific start times, specific end times. If you have that much control, I know if you're working that corporate job and they tell you to clock in a certain time, be there a certain time, leave at a certain time, whatever that is, you got to do that. That sets your work schedule. But don't stay over unless you just have to. Don't stay over to make people look at you and value the fact that you're there. I've worked one of those jobs before and was told that sometimes you just need to stay a little bit later than the boss. If you've got a boss like that says it makes you feel like you got to stay late to make them feel good about yourself, then I think it's time you go find another boss. Yep, go get a different job. That would be my recommendation because, sorry, that don't cut it. Not in America. Yeah, you have a specific start time, specific end time. And I know you got a big project and it's due and you haven't got the work done and you realize that and you got to take care of that. If you need to stay over, stay over. If you can take it home with you, take it home with you. Okay? But manage your time well. And when you plan out your day, block out time on your schedule where you can spend 1 to 2 hours of focused work that you block out and you protect, and you don't let anybody schedule meetings around those times as much as possible. You want to be productive, you want to get big things done, and you try to schedule that time at your most productive hours because that's where you get your high level work done. If I was to recommend any other thing to you, I'd recommend 2 other things. Spend some time learning and spend some time writing in a journal. Reflect on your day. Reflect on what you've accomplished. Write down what you're grateful for. Spend some time reading a good book, studying something that will help you get to the next level, whether it's listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube, or taking some kind of course that you feel like is going to benefit you to help you get to the next level. But spend some time developing yourself, put that in your schedule, plan your day around it, and then spend some time reflecting upon where you're at and where you want to go. The next tip or tool that I recommend is take advantage of technology. If you want to find that work-life balance, you got to leverage technology. Just like you do at work in your corporate job, and most corporate jobs, it could be anywhere from Asana, Slack, Monday.com to Teams, whatever platform you're using. You normally have a schedule. You're using a communications tool within that as well. Well, then what are you doing for your family? I mean, this is just like practical advice. Do you have one platform? You have a family calendar? Do you use Google? Do you use Outlook for that? Imagine you probably have it written somewhere where you can see it. How do you know where little Johnny's practice is and what time and where at and all that kind of good stuff? Who's keeping up with all that? And then find resources that work for you and your family to make that happen for yourself. Create your own Google Calendar or create your own Outlook calendar or whatever resource you want to use. You can use that same resource to have your own to-do lists in, you have your schedule in, even try to keep all your communication between all of you in the same location. This is a great tool. Great device. It can waste a lot of time. It can save a lot of time. Take advantage of those tools. Your kids are using them anyway. Then what is it? What tools do you want to establish for you and your family that makes you more efficient and keeps you connected and keeps everyone in the loop with changes in schedule and things of that nature that are going on? You can keep the chore list in it. You can keep them reminded of it. You could use a Trello board for that and make it easy. The final tip is have regular check-ins. Regular family check-ins. Hopefully you've kind of started out the year with kind of some family goals and you've included everyone in that in the appropriate age, but have regular check-ins with you and your family. How are things progressing? How are things going? The schedule really working? How can we help support each other? What changes do we need to make? How are you feeling about the time that we're having together? How can you support each other more? In those regular check-ins, give updates. Hey, Dad, how are things progressing in your career? How are things going in the business? Mom, what would you like to see happen in this coming quarter? How can we support you in making that happen? What is Jenny trying to accomplish in her violin studies right now? How can we support her in reaching her goal of getting better? When's her next recital? What is her goal with that? Little Johnny, he wants to take up golf. Are we going to be able to make that happen this right now? If so, how about the whole family take up that? We do a family lesson together. Or maybe it's something else. We also got a family vacation plan. What we want to do with that time. Where do we all want to go? What are some things we want to do together during that? And we're having those discussions in those check-ins as we're progressing towards our goal together. As we're all working to build this legacy together, and we're all taking part in it. It's because we take the time to have those check-ins and those moments as a bigger family unit. And how about you? Mom and Dad, are y'all checking in with each other regularly? How can you support each other more? What do you need to eliminate? What do you need to automate? What can we delegate? Can we outsource this next thing? And those things are part of that conversation as well. How can we create more time for each other? And evaluate, how is the communication going? And what feedback can you provide each other to support each other and build that legacy together? So I've covered with you 4 main principles that will help you be successful at climbing that corporate ladder or launching your entrepreneurial dream, and at the same time protecting your family time. I've also given you some practical tips that will help you along the way. You see, if you were to climb that corporate ladder or be very successful at getting your business started and yet lose your family along the way, it's not worth it. But if you can do it with them together, you're going to build that lasting legacy for yourself. If you're ready to elevate your leadership and build a legacy that embodies your family as well, check the link in the description below to book your discovery call to see if my Legacy Preeminence Coaching Program is right for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with a fellow leader who could benefit from these insights as well.